That's wonderful.
So, Dick, I said, how
Yeah.
are you? And he right away was like, oh, man, how did that happen? I was wondering how he couldn't get in here, but anyway. So tell me, what has happened to you in 1 week now?
Well, yeah, though I didn't get to it Monday. Monday, I just had a full day from dawn to dusk working outside. We're coming up on winter, and I had trees to get down and blah, blah, blah. So there's my excuse for Monday. But Pam and I both last week just said, we know what to do. We just aren't doing it. We're so busy with other things and fun things and stuff like that. And so the conversation with you last week about, it doesn't take your whole day. If you, and I bought the One Thing book. I haven't read it yet, though I've scanned it and already got some good stuff out of it. But just to say, hey, whatever else is going on, I can take an hour and a half at the beginning of the day. It takes me a little longer because I don't just do 2-sentence messages to people. I've got to connect with people. Anyhow, so starting Tuesday, I made 5 new contacts a day. I've made just a simple little calendar that on the left, you can't really see it. Well, at any rate, for each day on the left, I put follow-ups that I need to do so I can schedule them. So I've got some for next week and the week after from contacts this week. And then each day, I just written down the 5 contacts that I've made and how they responded. So it's been only 3 days so far, 15 contacts, and so far 6 of them have been willing to look at more. I don't think all 6 of those are good prospects. A couple of them probably aren't for sure, but they were willing to look, and that doesn't matter. If I got 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 people a week just looking, law of averages, you're going to hit 1 or 2 a month. So it's been very empowering for me. And
the ones
the response
that
has been different.
May I ask you, the ones that want to take a look, what are you doing with them?
It depends. There are a couple of them that are really business types. And so what I've said is I'd like to send you a book because they're not going to be impressed by, you can start this and get a few customers and make $1,000 a month. They need to see the big picture. And so for several of them, like 2 or 3 I have sent, I've mailed them the book, but then I've also directed them to my private Facebook page, where then I'm tagging them on stuff that might be that I think would be relevant or of interest to them. And then I put in a follow-up, and I've told them whether it's the book or the other, I said, then I'll check back with you and see what you think.
Okay, good. And it feels good?
And it feels great. And the interesting thing is, and I'm going to keep a different chart. I was thinking about a different one to make, whether the contact was a friend, an acquaintance, or someone I don't really know, and then try and track how they respond. And honestly, my reach out to them is very different. If it's someone that's just a Facebook friend who I've never personally met, we got connected somehow, then it's going to be down and dirty. Hey, I love contacting people, staying in touch this way. This is a random question, but I'm just curious. Are you happy with your income right now? But with a couple of people, they're guys who've been in ministry. And so my response to them has been very different. I said, hey, this may seem a little random, but I just wanted to ask you the same question. Then I say, over 4 decades ago, Pam and I started an in-home business, and it has resulted in huge benefits for us for 4 decades, especially now that we're retired. And I don't know what your situation is, but having been in ministry, would you be interested in something that could create another income stream? So I'm tailoring it to the people.
Yes.
I just have to do that.
And if it's people you know,
it's getting a better response.
Yes, people that you know.
Yeah.
That's what I've done. People that I don't know.
Right.
I've been doing the other. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm getting.
Right?
I'm sorry.
All of it's on Messenger. All of it's on Messenger.
Yeah.
And I like this because honestly, Pam's wheelhouse has always been nutrition and all. I love all that, but I'm not that good at it. I mean, my answer is real simple. I just eat it. My body knows what to do with it. That's about as much as I know. But I get excited about talking to people about the income opportunity. And so, she's doing her thing and I'm doing this, and together I think it's gonna produce something. So anyhow, but
Exciting.
Nina, you were the real impetus for this last week. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I got home Tuesday night and I started Wednesday, and I've already got appointments and interest. It's just so.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the follow-up on all the prove-its. Now, Ellen, you have been good at that, correct?
Good at what?
The follow-ups on all the prove-its.
Well, yes and no on the follow-up. My issue is that literally I've had such good success with the Prove It Challenge that it just keeps coming, and I'm having a hard time finding time to do the proper follow-up with them, but I'm doing the best. That's what I love Messenger. I could not have done any of the volume I've done if it hadn't been for Messenger, because one of the things I love about Messenger is they can see. I mean, you can see if they've seen it.
I love that about it.
See, if you send an email or a text, you have no clue if they even got the email. And,
right.
So I love that. So when I see that they've seen it, then that lets me know. If they don't respond, then I know that at least they've seen it. And so I'm going to give them some space and some time. But so yeah, I'm working now, because most of my people, see, I did like 15 or so within the first couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
And so
Wow.
now they are all, so I have probably over 30 Prove It challenges that I did. And, and that was, of course, me and my group. But I did a lot of, and many of them were some of my customers. They were Shaklee existing members. I think I have gotten 2 $150 bonuses. So I've done 6 within, but everybody, so I've had 2 of my distributors that have, done their, I think 2 of them have done their 3 and 1 of them's done 6. So I've had some success finally with some of my distributors that were deadwood.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome.
So follow-up is key.
I just found the same thing. I have been like putting off follow-up because I'm good at follow-up now. I don't know how else to say that. The response that people are getting as a result of that Prove It are just wild to me.
Yeah.
And that now, this week I've had 2 that's given me the opportunity to talk to them because they wanted to reorder because they can't get over how good they feel, and that they've talked to other people about it. So it's given me the opportunity as well to talk to them about how they can get theirs paid for, or if they want to make extra money. Because one of the girls said to me, "Oh, I just can't get over how good I feel. I haven't felt this good for years." She said, "But I retire next month, so I'm not sure I can keep it up." And I just said, "Well, Roberta, let me ask you a question. As good as you feel, is there anything that you would share with somebody because you feel so good that you could get yours paid for?" And she goes, "I'm not a salesman." And I said, "Oh, that's a good thing." She said, "But I can't quit doing what I'm doing." And I said, "Have you shared with anybody how good you feel with what you're doing?" And she's quiet for a while, and she goes, "No, I really haven't." Because she's a big heart person, but even if she shares with her, she's got 8 sisters. She lost 13 pounds. She said, "I have never been able to lose weight."
Wow.
And she said, "But I can't get over how good I feel." So that was one of them. So she's going to talk to some of her sisters. And I said, "If you'd like, I'll just do a Zoom and talk about it. And you can invite them on." And then another gal that I talked to, she's been hitting and missing using products here and there, but she started on the Prove It, and she came back yesterday when I talked to her. She said, "Oh, I need to talk to you about a couple of things." And I thought, okay, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And she said, I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off because of the cleanse part. And I have another gal who is putting it off because of the cleanse. And I said to her, get started on the nutrients. You would feel better if you did the cleanse first, but I don't want you to hold off from getting your help. And but this gal said, I just finally got done with my cleanse. She goes, I cannot believe it. I lost 11 pounds. And she said, but it was hard for me. But she said, I am so excited because of how I feel now. And she did use Vitally and something else throughout, but now she's going to start on her other products. But she said, I've talked to two of my sisters and they both want to do it. And I'm like, well, that's exciting. And I said, do you think you could find a third? And she goes, I know I can.
Wow.
So, but she said, my sister said to me, they got shakes too, don't they? And she said, yeah, that's part of this. She goes, I love those shakes. I used to get, she didn't even know what company it was, but she said, I could be a distributor if I sign up, right?
Mm.
So you don't know what's going to happen there.
Absolutely.
So, but I have a question. I couldn't answer this, and maybe you guys can. So if this person has been in Shaklee for a long time, they did the Prove It Challenge. So if she sponsored somebody today, that person, she has to have 3 before the end of the month because she's already in Shaklee, right?
Yeah.
So
but she has to be a distributor.
Yeah, which she is. That's why I was pretty excited that she's coming back.
Yeah.
So who is it? Is it brand new people who come in that they have the rest of that month and the next month to get their first 3?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
I don't know. I thought that was just after conference
I think so.
that they said we're going to get you because it wasn't a full month.
It's
Okay. I don't know.
It's like the gold packs used to be. But I don't. So being she just started hers. Oh, well, her first month is up already. So I was just wondering for her, she sponsored her sister. And I said to her, if she's ready, why don't you get all of her information and then let's sponsor her next Tuesday?
Yeah.
Just to make sure. I don't want her to lose on that one.
Yeah,
so that's exciting. So then also from our doing just the online stuff, I'm meeting with somebody who lost her job on Tuesday. So I probably could have done it all online, but she's a very energetic, I don't know. I wanted to meet her because she said when I sent her the text, she goes, oh, I would definitely be interested in hearing more. When can we get together? I'm like, oh, that's not the way I wanted to do it, but
Yeah.
So I'm meeting with her, and then I have another guy who he had some major health issues, something very, very weird, and he had a major surgery, and his colon exploded, and had diverticulitis. That's what it was. And his colon popped, and so he's been out of work for I don't know how long, and so he was begging online for, and I just happened, we don't happen, it just happened, but I came across his feed, and I haven't seen his feed for a long time, and he's one of my cousin's kids, and he said, I will do any kind of online work. I will do any kind of, and I thought, So I reached out to him. He's desperate for income, and I'll reach out to him because if he does the Prove It, it would be good for him physically, but we'll see. So that's the 2 that I got in 2 days. Those 2. But then, the follow-up brought me the others too. So that's pretty exciting.
One thing not addressing the situation with the cleanse, when people hear cleanse, they really have a lot of misunderstanding.
Okay.
And so I have used the fact that really is a free, you're really getting the cleanse free. So I've basically been saying to people when they give me any indication, or if I know that person that I know that they're going to be a little squeamish, I'm just saying, take advantage of the special, get the free cleanse, and when you are ready. Everybody's got weddings, they've got trips, they've got birthdays coming. And I said, and when you're ready, but start immediately, with the strip and the shake. And when you're
That's good.
ready, then I will connect with you and get you with your accountability group. Because I tell you, the 7-Day Cleanse Facebook page is excellent resource.
Oh, I know. That's what, in fact, the girl last night said to me, you know what, if I had not been in that group, I probably would have quit.
Yeah, yeah. So
So
that was a wonderful thing. Yeah.
yeah, that is an awesome, awesome thing there.
I had a situation last night where I went over to a friend of mine's house that's been going through some grief recovery and a lot of issues. And she had gotten the Prove It Challenge right away. I mean, she was one of those that when I was at conference said, I want this, I need this. Well, I went over last night and it's sitting there still a month later. It's just sitting there. And she's a Shaklee user, but she's been, because of all of her emotions and everything, she's not been doing right, and I've been concerned. But anyway, it was like that box sitting over there with the cleanse was all she could think about. Because I don't even want to open it. It scares me. I mean, literally. So her neighbor that lives 2 houses down also is a Shaklee customer. And she just got her Prove It Challenge in last week while she was in Hawaii. She got home a couple of days ago, it's there. And she saw Cheryl sitting there and she said, that box scares me. And I said, why? To Betty. And she said, am I going to be in the bathroom all the time? And I said, no. I said, this is why we have to educate. And that's what I love about Shaklee. And Cheryl spoke up. Now, Cheryl's the one that's grieving and it's been sitting there for over a month. She said, oh no, this is the most gentle cleanse, because I've been using all these products forever. You know, she's been using the alfalfa and the Herblex and the DTX and the DI. And Betty said, well, can I eat? And I said, of course you can eat.
Yeah, but because she didn't research it all. I will say this, that everybody has said that the first 2 days that they urinate a lot more than they ever did before.
That's the alfalfa with a lot of people young.
So they're in the bathroom more, but so anyways, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So Dick, to change subject a
Yeah.
little, you put something in here that you wanted information on something. What was it again?
Yeah, well, you had talked really quickly through the 5 connects, 5 follow-ups, a gratitude, and 3 goals a day, 1 long-term and 2 short-term. Well, not a day, but on an ongoing basis. But then you had that broken down with other stuff that you, for each goal, you had to do the who, what, where, why,
Yes.
when, how, and then strategies. And I didn't know if you had anything written up on that. I think I got the general idea, but
I just have my
I may be missing some stuff.
I just have my sheets that I get from Danelle. So what you do is you start out, the first step is you write your 3 different business goals.
Now, is this short term, long term?
Mine are all fairly short term because these are the ones that I really want to get accomplished.
Okay.
So short term, so 6 new builders. So I'll tell you what they are. 6 new builders, and I want to be doing some business coaching, and I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, so that's my what. So I should say my next 20 pounds, because I've lost 20 pounds since the cleanse, which is cool. And I'm just starting
Good
it.
for you.
Yes, I'm just starting it again. It's so amazing. So I lost 13 pounds the first one I did. And then by the end of that month, I had gained about 3 pounds back because you're eating all kinds of food again, right?
Well, you were traveling too. You know, when you're traveling, everything
Yeah.
is, yeah.
So then the next month I did it and I lost that plus some extra. So that's how I'm down 20. So now I'm starting it again now. So I figured that, so the next thing is by when? So
are you saying that you're doing the cleanse that often?
Well, they used to do the 5-day reset. What's the difference? It's all the same.
So you're doing three, you already done 3 sets. Okay.
No, I'm doing the third one now.
Okay.
I just started on that after I got home again. Because I'm
Okay.
leaving again next month. I'm going to Cabos.
Okay.
So your first line is your 3 goals. So you take a piece of paper and you break it up like this. Okay? Into 3 columns. And then there's the top row is what? The next row is when. So that's your finish date. Your next row is why.
Okay.
Your next row is who. This next one is interesting. Your next
Okay,
row.
give me some of the who's. What would be some a who?
Well, who is it going to affect?
Okay.
Who are you doing it for?
Okay.
So 2 of them, the who is me. So, and 1 is for my business. I guess they're all, I don't know why that one, but she wants to know who you're doing. Because you're doing part of what you're doing for your daughter.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
The next one is, what is the sacrifice that you're going to have? Okay. And my one sacrifice is, what do I have to sacrifice? And I have to sacrifice getting over myself. I have to sacrifice the fear that's there to stop me from doing the things, which might sound weird, but there's always something you have to give up to get what you want. And it's weird, but just doing this now has helped me, like, okay, I can do this by the time I got done with the whole process. And then the last one was, what is the result? What will be the result of you achieving that goal? So my first one is, I will have earned the trip and I'll be halfway to master coordinator, which is my big goal.
Okay. I'm writing and not listening. What was the last what?
So what, when, why,
No,
who?
I've got it. What did you say about what?
What will be the result?
What will be the result? Okay.
Yeah, so it just is a result. It's the
Okay.
bottom.
What will be the result?
Dinah, do you have a blank sheet
I
of
can't
those
give them
that
out.
you
I can't give them out.
Okay,
It's
copyrighted. Okay,
email stuff, and it's she's made us promise that, but I
gotcha.
can teach it to
That's
my
fine.
people. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what it looks
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy. Yeah.
like. Okay. So that's the first thing you do, and then there's a page that looks like this. Okay, so and you do one of these pages for each one of those goals. So this is the next step. So the top line is the goal. I will, whatever that goal is, by, and the date. And it will generate a return of, so whether the one I'm looking at is my weight, so that's going to generate a return of health and business. Now, if you've got one that's $1, you know, this one says it will generate me a return of $6,996 or $83,000 a year. Okay, so that's the top, and then the next row is, and I'm recording this, so you can go back and get this more if you're not getting it fast enough. The 3 priorities that will allow me to achieve this goal. The 3 priorities that will allow me to achieve this goal. And you know what I found so interesting is when I went to that business coaching class, they went through this exact same stuff.
Mm.
So, but it's for people who are very goal oriented. And I think that Danelle is very good friends with Gary Keller. She's coached by, oh, he's the big coach for LeBron and Jordan and
Birch
Grover. Tim Grover. She's coached by Tim Grover. She just had a deal that she was getting screwed on that she's already put $1 million into. And she called Richard Branson and said, what do I do? So that's her circle. And he said, you tell me you want your money back and get out of the deal. So she knows what it takes to build success. So what are the 3 priorities that allow me to achieve my goal? And then you write 3. What?
Okay, a question. What is meant by priorities in this context? Are they activities that you're doing? The main, give me an example of a priority, because these words are used in different ways.
Yeah. So what are the 3 things that you're
going
to do to achieve that goal? So my first one is cleanse once a month.
All right.
Exercise 5 times a day, and then go to bed early and rise early.
Okay, I got it.
So on my other one, I've got time block to be able to post and connect. That's my 1 priority. My 2nd priority is to do weekly meetings. And my 3rd priority, it's a duplicate, I put connect. But the reason I had to take it off from the top because it's different. Posting and connecting are 2 different priorities. Okay? So time block and then posting and connecting. So after you have that, then you go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you've got 3 rows again and 5 down, right? So when you've got that, then you got to fill all those holes in. So these are labeled the 5 strategies for each priority. Okay? So that's what's here, the 5 strategies for each priority. And then my first priority is to time block. So I need 5 strategies that's going to help me do that. This seems like a lot of paperwork, and I have to be honest with you guys. She taught us this last November. I started on it and I was overwhelmed by it and I didn't finish it. And then she went through it again in May in Greece. And I started again and I never finished it. Because it just didn't connect with me. And then we're in our mastermind and she said, how many of you have that? And it's like, I have a partway done. She goes, Nina, you need to get it done if you want success. And it's weird, but by doing this, it has just completely, it's gotten rid of so many blocks that I had. It's weird. So you go down and you put 5 different strategies that's going to help you be able to make each one of those priorities that's going to help you accomplish that goal. That look, Dick, I'm not sure that means yes. You got it?
No, I'm trying to think of an example. So if one of the strategies or one of the priorities is 5 contacts a day, for example, then what would be an example of some strategies that help me do that? Let me think out loud. You tell me if I'm on track. One strategy would be the night before to identify the 5 I'm going to contact the next day. Another strategy would be clear my schedule to make sure I'm free from 8 to 10 each morning. Another strategy would be whatever.
So time block.
Am I thinking? Yeah.
Block that time. And I want to go back to what you said the night before, write down the 5 people that you're going to contact. And that's what we've always kind of been, how we've gone. But Lindsay, who is another friend of mine in our mastermind, who, I mean, it's crazy the money these girls make in a short period of time. Every Sunday night, They do this on Sunday nights. So they're set for the week.
Okay.
So answering that question, if you want it to be Saturday night, if you want it to be Sunday night, if you want it to be Monday morning, but everything is done for the week and you're prepping for the next week, then go and write.
Okay.
Her thing is write the 10 people to have Monday through Sunday, like your calendar that you've got there, and write the 10 people that you're going to contact each day. So when it comes the night before, they're done. You don't feel pressured to try and figure that out.
Yeah.
So that could be
That's
one of your
good.
things in there. Yeah. And when I started doing that, I was blocked. Again, I'm amazed at all the different blocks that I've gotten rid of. Because it's like, man, how am I going to figure out who to talk to?
Well, and I'm thinking about when you're talking about strategies for the priority, Dick, I'm thinking, one of the things that I knew immediately when I left conference, because I had two deadwood distributors that, were not doing anything. Even to a point that one of them was hardly using product. And but both of them saw some of the information from the conference live streamed, and they were on board with the Prove It Challenge and already thinking of the 3 that they could get. And it clicked with me because one of my goals, short-term goals, is to get distributors to build.
How many?
Directors.
How many?
Well, I want to. I'd like to get to at least a key. And
Okay.
I only have
You
one.
You changed what I asked you, Ellen.
How many?
How many?
How many what?
Directors. You said I want to get some.
Directors.
First it was some distributors, and then it's some directors, and then it's the key. So.
Okay, I meant to get some distributors to director. So
Okay,
those.
but how many?
2.
Okay, because that's what you have to put on here.
Yeah. So
It's
when
amazing when you break it down that fine, because so many years, I'm just going to be completely candid here. For so many years, we have been taught, set your goal at master coordinator, and then it went to set your goal at presidential master. And so you feel like a failure over and over and over because you have no plan or no strategy to get there. So that's why I said, how many directors do you want to go to? Hey, Sharon.
And that's why I immediately, when I got home, I knew that I had to put a lot of my effort in training.
Okay.
So I committed to those 2 girls to really train. So that has been my strategy, making sure I'm having a weekly meeting with them. I have a group set up where we talk every day, and that's helped.
Okay, so that's only 2 strategies. Do you see what I'm saying when you do this?
Yeah.
That's only, so what would that priority be? Your goal is to build 2 directors
Right.
by whatever date, and that will generate X for you. Okay, what are the 3 priorities that will allow you to achieve that goal?
Well, that was like I said, that my strategy and my first priority was to train them.
Okay, but strategy, this is something I've learned going through what I've gone through now. There's a huge difference between priorities and strategy.
Okay.
So the priorities, like you said, okay, there's 2 things that you said you were going to do. Those are probably your priorities to get to that goal. But you need a 3rd priority, and now you have to strategize on what are you going to do to reach those. Okay. What are you going to do to make that happen? Because I've heard for years you got to strategize, and it meant nothing to me because nobody's ever strategized with me.
Yeah.
So now I
understand
this. Go ahead.
Just a comment about the short-term and long-term goal thing, and I'm picking up on what you just said about for years we've been told our goal needs to be master coordinator, but that's so far down the road. I have a good friend in Atlanta, knew her in Atlanta, then they moved to Nashville. Now she's back in Atlanta. She's a business consultant, works with small to mid-sized companies. She will not work with them on anything other than short-term goals. She refuses to work with them on long-term goals. Now, they need to have a long-term goal, and it's good, but if she works on long-term goals, they don't have to do anything the next week, because my long-term goal is to be a master coordinator in 5 years. And the only thing functionally that makes any difference are the short-term goals. So I've been saying to our people, you know, don't get too technical here, but your long-term goals, those really are your vision. My vision is being a master coordinator, and here's what it's going to look like and what my life will be like. But I can't work toward master. What I can work toward is talking to 5 people a day, building 2 new directors by the end of the calendar year, building 5 in depth, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, yes. And we know,
Does that make sense?
yes, totally. We know from the people, and this is something that came out at the business coaching thing, is that we know from people that it takes anywhere, I mean, unless you work day and night, but 5 years. What did Sharon just say? I
Not
thought
able
she was,
to hear.
she what?
Not able to hear.
Oh, turn your volume up. Somebody type that in there.
Can't hear, let's say.
Turn up your volume. It's usually the problem. So what they taught us is that you set out your long 5-year goal, whatever that 5-year goal is. And then from there, okay, so now what do I have to do this year? You know, breaking it backwards. So if your goal, just say, is to have 15 new directors, okay? How many years would that be a good goal for? What do you think?
Woo. I can't even imagine right now.
Okay, so let's just say that it's a 5-year goal.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to type this in here. I don't know if you can see that or not. So if that's your 5-year goal is to have 15, how many new directors would you have to build each year?
3. If you're 5-year goal, yeah.
So you go back and you write that down. So every year I have to build 3. So if I have to build 3 every year to reach my 5-year, what do I have to build every month? What do I have to do each month to build 3 directors in a year? And I think if we're really pumping, if things are going, I think that's a low goal. And that's just where I am, so I shouldn't say that. And let's say that's it. So 3 years. So what do you have to do to get there for the year, to accomplish your year goal? What do you have to do every month? So if you've got 3 in a year, that means every 4 months you have to build a director. Do you think it's possible to build a director in 4 months?
Sure it is.
Absolutely.
But to
Absolutely.
do that, I probably need to get at least 1 new business builder every month, pick a ratio, on the assumption that 1 out of 4 of those will actually make director.
Right.
Yes. And then sit down and break it down like this, you guys. This is so exciting to me. So that's per quarter. Now what do you have to do each month? What you just said, to reach that quarterly goal or to reach that annual goal. What do you have to do each month? Because we broke it down to an annual goal that it's once every 4 months. And then what do you have to do every month? And then, okay, so what do I have to do this week? How many reach outs do I need? How many whatever do I need so I can accomplish my big goal? And then what do I have to do each day for 5 days a week? So then what do I have to do right now? And when you break it down that way, it makes anything seem possible. Now, So you got it down to what do you have to do today and what do you have to do right now. Now, what are you going to do to keep yourself accountable to do that every day? So I think it's pretty exciting.
It
Hey,
is
an
exciting.
observation, Nina.
Yes.
I think
Go ahead, Ellen. Go ahead, Ellen.
Yeah, it is very exciting. My concern, of course, I know I did, hit the nail on the head with Pam. That's where I have been all these years, with where Pam is, because that's where my heart is, and I'm so into nutrition and helping people. So I'm just seeing that. I'm thinking as you're talking, Nana, it's almost like for me to be able to do the business part well, then I really need an assistant. And that is the hard thing. And I've tried different things because because of the fact that I do have a lot of people in my organization, product users, I spend 2 hours every morning just answering emails and following up over questions and stuff, and I do a lot of research for people and helping people with a lot of illnesses and disease. So that is making me, really, I don't know how one person could do all of both really, really well. My PV is good, but that's not residual income. And that's what I need to look at stronger.
I honestly believe, Ellen, that if you started doing time blocking, everything I've read on it and starting to work on it, it's the hardest thing I've done.
Okay.
Because I have always lived in fire mentality.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
And I'm so excited my books go away today. But I have had, I've had people who work for me that have said, I look at your desk and I can't believe you get everything done that you get done.
Yeah.
Is that something to be proud of? Absolutely not. But that's because I lived in fire mentality. And learning how to, there is nobody, this is what's coming out, nobody that is super successful that doesn't time block. It's like, okay, I got it. So, Ellen, it's very easy because that's your comfort zone.
Well, I think any business, and I've been in business since I was 18.
Right.
I think any business, you have to learn to delegate, and you do have to. And of course, with me, I do everything. I take care of business, I take care of, everything. So I'm just going to have to do what you've done. I'm going to have to get some of outsourcing.
Yeah.
And just go ahead and do that.
Yeah. In fact, I'm to the point now that I'm going to have my daughter just take over my email because she knows what she needs to do from there.
Right. Yeah.
I feel part of me is that control issue, just like with my books.
Sure.
Part of that's, I will always do thank you letters with her because I want to see what people are using. And if with my follow-up, which I've never had a consistent method of follow-up, Lisa Smith always says to me, I don't know how you have a business with as little of follow-up as you do. I don't either. The products are good. But I would have missed both of these opportunities that I had yesterday had I not had the follow-up. So, yeah.
Follow-up is really key. Yeah.
Nina, I wanted to make an observation.
Yes.
And I'm loving this because this fits so well with what I did in the last decade of my life as a leader of an organization, because we were, we use different models, but it was business planning that got down to this level of detail. What are we actually going to do? Right. Two things. I think way back to the 80s, Gary Burke's activity planner. You started out with a goal, but then Gary immediately led you to planning. What are you going to actually do? On Roland's call this week, he wasn't there. Ray and Barb Madoran led it. And I'm going to say this, my purpose is not to be critical, but I think some stuff missed the boat. They were talking about a conversation with Roland and I don't know who all else about the fact that the growth is not happening across as quickly as everyone had expected or hoped. And the question was why? And the answer came up was a leadership. We need more leadership, better leadership. We've got to learn to be leaders. And I found myself thinking, I'm not sure that's really it. I mean, yeah, maybe it's leadership. What you're providing here, Nina, is leadership. What we're lacking is a plan, call it a system. We don't know what to do. So we're just out there talking to people or whatever. We don't really have any structure for how we're going to build this. And I think that's what's lacking, because, you know, we think about change your thinking and have a better attitude and have clear vision. Yes, yes, yes to all of that. But at the end of the day, so what the heck am I supposed to do this morning?
Yes.
And
yes.
it doesn't automatically follow from my having a real passion. I can have all the passion in the world. If I haven't figured out what to do with it, it's going nowhere. It just becomes another failure. So I think what you're helping us with here is critical. Yeah.
Dick, you and I have been around for the same amount of time. And I have written goals out over and over and over. Nothing has inspired me to keep going the way this has. And it sounds weird, but it's because it's pretty clear.
Well, and you know, Dick, I love what you just said, because it reminds me, because I have had so many people contact me because they've seen what I've done on YFP, you know, and they've seen, you know, some of that, and they're just saying, well, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing? And you know, what it goes back to, Dick, is putting what you've learned into action.
Yes. Well, I talked to, I should probably unrecord here. I did not know how to write goals, and I could write them down and I could, you know, do all kinds of affirmations, but I had no breakdown ever. So I know what this has done for me, and I would love it to be able to help a whole lot more people. So.
Well, thank you for sharing. I've got to run, but
yeah, it's time.
I agree with Dick. This is key. This is great, Nina.
Awesome.
Thank you for pouring what you're learning into us.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And you know what? The more that you pour into others with what you've learned, the more it helps you.
Oh, absolutely.
So take this stuff and, you know, go and do the same thing with your people.
That's fine. Good.
Yeah. So, you learn best when you try to teach it to someone else.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know why I didn't do this before. Why I did not, when I got home, took the time to do it. I can't explain that at all. Because I paid
Dick,
good.
well,
I paid big money to learn how to do this.
Dick, I'm going to challenge you to make up the chart and send us a blank, okay?
I'll do that. Nina, I know you can't copy it, but can you hold it up to the screen so I can do a quick screenshot?
Sure.
I think I got it.
Bye, guys. I love you all. Bye.
Bye.
Here,
go ahead. That's good.
Do speaker only. Click speaker only.
I got it already.
Okay, so you got that?
Pardon? Yeah, I did that already. I got that one. Yeah, so, and I just want to know what the page kind of looks like. It'll make, I'm not copying the words. I got those already.
Mastering your next moves. Okay, so then it's this one. This is the other one. It's got the who, what on the side.
Okay, gotcha. Perfect. That helped me figure out how to put the sheets together.
Awesome.
Hey, different subject. I know you got to go. I've got to go too.
I mean, stop